Happy Wednesday, everybody. There's a lot to go over around Major League Baseball, so we're just going to get right into it. So kick back, relax, because the latest installment of Hitting Home starts right now. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back into another edition of Hitting Home, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio, coming to you guys live, giving you all the latest and greatest from Major League Baseball. And as always, we are your hosts, Dustin Reese, Sam Nelson. Dustin, brother, how are we this morning?
I am doing well because my baseball team has finally decided to play the way we should be playing. 17-3 in our last 20. I'll take it.
Well, I, for one, can finally agree with you because my team has won 7 of their last 8, are starting to hit the ball like an actual lineup, and the starting pitching is starting to look as advertised, which only took about a month into the season? We'll get into that.
Better late than never.
Yeah, better early than late. But you know what? Sometimes, like you say, you change the manager, change the voice, things happen. We'll get into the Phillies and the Cubs later on in the show. You know, a little milestone action for Kyle Schwarber last week. Want to talk about that. Got an interesting question when it comes to Kyle Schwarber and his potential Cooperstown case. And I like to say potential because, you know, you can't over speculate things, but I think there's a good case to be made. We're going to be talking the Atlanta Braves. Ronald Acuna placed on the IL with a hammy. We'll talk about that later on. We'll get into some AL Central talk because there's a big old injury that just happened and it may leave that division wide freaking open. However, unfortunately, we have to start this show off on a little bit of a somber note. For anybody who hasn't heard already, former Yankees broadcaster John Sterling passed away this week at the age of 87. Sterling called Yankees games for 36 seasons, called over 5,000 games. And for anyone who didn't know, was famous for the notorious home run calls for individual players like an A-bomb from A-Rod, all that stuff. He was also known for some of the most historical play-by-play calls you could think of. If there was a perfect game, like for perfect example, David Cone threw a perfect game. 27 up, 27 down, baseball immortality. Of course, two other famous calls he always made were his home run calls of it is high, it is far, it is gone. And of course, nobody will ever, now granted for me, I grew up in Trenton, New Jersey. I am literally, guys, an hour and some change away from New York City. It wasn't summer. A lot in my area. Now, I'm a Phillies fan, yes, but, I'll tune into a Yankee game here and there. Nothing beat the call of Yankees win. The Yankees win. John Sterling, much like some of the greatest broadcasters that we have lost in our lifetime, was the voice of summer for Yankees fans. And, we had Alex Cohen on here. What was that, Dustin, about a month ago, maybe?
About that, yeah.
We talked about the relationship that broadcasters have with baseball fans. And like I said, I don't mean disrespect to the NBA announcers, to NHL announcers, to NFL announcers, but baseball announcers have a different type of a relationship with their fans because you hear them so much, so often, because they are the longest season in sports. And, in our area where I am, when you think of baseball, you think of Harry Kalas. If you're in LA, you think of Vin Scully. But when you think of the Yankees, and a lot of it you think of is John Sterling. And we just want to give a very heartfelt condolences and thoughts and prayers to him and his family. And we are feeling for the Yankees and their entire family today as well, because it's a very unfortunate loss for the world of baseball, losing the great John Sterling. And if you have a chance to go back and the most heartbreaking part of the whole thing was if you watch the clip of Michael Kay talking about the whole situation, just absolutely heartbreaking. So just want to open the show, give our thoughts and prayers for John Sterling and his family. And may he rest in peace. And hopefully we can look up to the sky and still hear the Yankees win.
Did you ever see that the one clip with Sterling where he was in the press box and all of a sudden he was like, it's a foul ball, popped up here, and then it bounces and it hit him in the face?
Yeah.
That was, oh my God, it hit me in the head. I didn't think it was coming way up here.
And I mean, look, this is a guy, he retired in 2024, but he came back to call that run of the Yankees getting to the World Series. And that was another one that he was great for, was when they were in the postseason. He'd be like, ball game over, American League Championship Series over. It's just so many iconic calls through, spans over 3 decades. So many iconic calls for so many iconic players, because again, Yankees are one of the most storied franchises in baseball. They are they're the mecca of baseball. They got 27 championships. No matter what's going on now in baseball with the Dodgers and all that, it's never going. I don't think a team's ever going to replicate what the Yankees have done in their history.
No, because I'm not going to say there's parity now, because the Dodgers are kind of what the Yankees were back then, just not at the degree. But you don't have a team that's got Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra. Like, every single player that played for the Yankees, like, way back then when they were winning championships, is like a bona fide Hall of Famer.
Shout out.
You look at the. Was it?
I said shout out Roger Maris.
Yeah, you look at the league now, though. How many players, apart from Shohei, I would say, how many players can you honestly say that are playing right now that you would consider Hall of Famers at this point?
Shohei, Judge. I think Judge would get in. Oh, man, that's tough.
Schwarber, I think if he gets to 500, he'll get in, which he's got a shot through that.
I think if he stays on the pace that he's on right now to hit 500, he will.
Yeah, like it's not like baseball back then where virtually every team had at least one, if not multiple, Hall of Famers on it.
Yeah,
like this era of baseball, like we've talked about it on this show for a while. It shouldn't be called the Hall of Fame anymore. It should be called the Hall of Very Good, because you don't have 500 home run hitters anymore. You don't have 600 home run hitters anymore. You don't have pitchers striking out 3,500 batters anymore, because they don't go deep enough into games to do that. And there's so many Tommy John injuries now that pitchers are losing time on the mound a lot more now than what they did back then. You don't have the Mariano Rivera's or the Trevor Hoffmans where you're going to close 20 consecutive seasons of Major League Baseball and get around 40 saves every single season. Like, stuff just doesn't happen anymore.
No, and all the guys that we could make the case that could possibly be Hall of Famers are still young, so young in their career that it wouldn't really be fair to put them there. Like, we could say, oh, Paul Skeens could be a Hall of Famer. Paul Skeens has been in the league for what, 3-4 years?
Yeah, I guess I could say Scherzer, I think, will get in. Verlander will get in.
Oh, yeah, well, they're. I think there are no doubt.
Even Jacob deGrom, I think, gets in. Because even with all the injuries he's had to go through, he still has a top 5 all-time strikeouts per 9 inning rate.
Yeah. I think the thing with deGrom has just always been about his health.
Mm-hmm. Kenley Jansen will get in. Chapman will get in. Craig Kimbrell probably gets in because I think he's either over 400 or very close to 400 saves right now.
I don't want Kimberlin. I'm not over 2023 yet. I'm not over it. He can be in the Hall of Fame after we redeem ourselves from that debacle. But, you know, and that's the thing. We're talking about I mean, that's the thing. For John Sterling, he just called so many great players. I mean, if you think of 36 years. So that dates back to what?
1990.
Back when 1980 was 36 years ago. Those were the days. But I mean, you think of it, you're talking
further than that because when did he retire? 2023.
2024. Well, yeah, 2023 was his last year. 2024, he technically came back,
yeah,
but it was only for the
so
postseason run.
1987. So like 1987.
All right, so if you think of it, you just think of the iconic players he called. I mean, we're talking Aaron Judge,
Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Mariano Rivera, Derek Jeter, Posada, Matsui, Mussina, that whole group in the Yankees of the 90s.
Yep, that whole core four that won those titles. Bernie Williams, who I think was a very severely underrated part of those teams.
David Cone,
David Wells in his perfect game.
Paul O'Neill.
Paul O'Neill, Tino Martinez. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of how many great players John Sterling got to announce during his tenure with the Yankees. And, was always just all radio. He was their TV guy as well. Then, of course, he transitioned to radio, and Michael Kay became the TV guy. And, Michael and him were great friends. And it's like I said, you just watch the clip of Michael Kay talking about that the other day. Just, it's so heartbreaking to hear him give you the backstory on what was going on. It's just a heartbreaking situation. Unfortunately, in this world, there are two things guaranteed in life: death and taxes. And unfortunately, one sometimes can cause the other. But
I mean, they just dropped a list of potential 2027 first time Hall of Fame candidates. And like we were saying, this is the Hall of Very Good now, because listen to the names that are on this list as to some of the players that could get in as first time Hall of Fame candidates in 2027. Jake Arrieta.
Oh, God.
He had a 3-year run. That was a Hall of Fame worthy 3-year run, but that was about it. Jay Bruce.
Oh, dear God.
Asdrubal Cabrera and Starlin Castro.
Please stop.
Wade Davis, Dexter Fowler, Todd Frazier. That's a better name.
Not by much.
No, Brett Gardner.
No.
Andrew Miller.
If Orlando's watching, he may be mad that I said that. Andrew Miller, no.
Ryan Zimmerman is interesting because he spent this whole career with the Nationals.
Zim had
I don't think he'll be first ballot, but he has a shot, I think, to potentially get in as it goes on.
I'm hitting up the old baseball reference. Hold on.
You mean there's Joakim Soria on this list? No.
No.
Kyle Seager, Mitch Moreland, Erwin Santana? No. Scott Kazmir? No. The only two that I think that have a legitimate shot to get in on this first ballot Hall of Fame, and it's because their resume speaks for itself, Buster Posey.
I think Posey would get in.
And John Lester.
Yeah, Lester's another one that I think would get in.
Those two, of this whole list, I think Posey and John Lester Lester might be the only one that gets first ballot because of what he's done in the playoffs for his career. But I think Posey and John Lester would be the only two on this list that are guaranteed to get in at some point. And then I would say probably Ryan Zimmerman would be one of those guys that either gets in on his final year of eligibility, or he's one of those players that gets voted in with that new vote that you can have to get in. How I don't know if it's the players that vote you in or somebody else votes you in, but you can get voted in as an honorary Hall of Fame member. You still get in once your name is off the ballot.
Yeah, we're running into a very awkward situation with the MLB Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame is that nobody is really. The classes used to be elite. Now, like I said, we're just running into the Hall of very good players. Again, even Zimmerman, he's a good player, but 284 career homers. I mean, what? I'll give it. He had the longevity in Washington. He did help them win a World Series, but it's like even that we're kind of stretching it. Now Posey's a little different. I think Posey was a premier catcher when he was out there. Of course, he was banged up a lot, but the guy won 3 World Series rings. How do you not put the guy in the hole?
And did he play like the most consecutive games as a catcher ever too?
Something along
Before
those
he got
lines.
hurt, like he was like over 700 straight games. I thought he played at catcher.
I think he did. I just remember. I always remember Posey as the guy who got his legs snapped in half. Thank you, Scott Cousins. But I mean, look, he was one of the best catchers behind the dish. Had decent power. He was I mean, you know how hard it is to be a lifetime 300 hitter as a catcher?
Yeah.
And again,
that's just almost impossible to do.
Exactly. And again, the guy won 3 World Series championships to where he was the catalyst for all of them. And now, if we go over to Lester, Lester's another guy he's got 3 championships too, doesn't he?
He's got 3 championships, yes. He's got 2 with the Red Sox, 1 with the Cubs, and then his resume is a little bit different. So like John Lester, because the guy's a cancer survivor, so people are going to kind of look at that as well. But he won 200 games exactly, 201-17 for his career with a 3.66 ERA, which the ERA is middle of the road. That's not like ace caliber ERA, but he was an ace pitcher. He finished with just under 2,500 strikeouts. But it's what he did in the playoffs that stands out. Like his ERA, he's 9-7 in the playoffs, which is not that great record wise, but he had a 2.51 ERA all time in the playoffs. And his first World Series run, he only appeared in 1 game, but his second World Series run in 2013 went 4-1 with a 1.56 ERA in 5 playoff starts, and he threw 35 innings. So he's basically going 7 innings per start that year in the playoffs. Walked 4 batters and struck out 30. And then in 2016 with the Cubs, he made 6 playoff appearances, 5 starts, went 3-1 with an even 2 across 35 innings with 6 walks and 30 strikeouts. So when the playoffs started, Lester showed up.
Yeah, and now if you just look at, I'm looking at Posey's resume for the Hall of Fame. If you're looking at it, 7-time All-Star, he has the 3 World Series rings, has an MVP award back in 2012, won the Rookie of the Year in 2010, won a Gold Glove, won Silver Slugger 5 times, won the Hank Aaron Award, won Comeback Player of the Year twice, 2012 and 2021. 2021, he didn't come back from an injury. He just didn't play in 2020 due to the whole COVID situation. Won a batting title in 2012. So that to me is at least Hall of Fame worthy. Like that's a pretty impressive resume for a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that is probably one of the best catchers of our generation.
And now, Buster Posey, if you're looking at just, I'm not going to go through like every single stat, but if you're looking at all-time catchers, and this counts for like wins above replacements, defensive runs saved, and like a bunch of other things that go into equation, Buster Posey is ranked the 14th best catcher in MLB history.
Because you give me the third, and who were the 13 ahead of him?
Maybe Johnny Bench.
Okay.
Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Gary Carter's number 2. That's Hall of Famer.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pudge Rodriguez, number 3.
Who doesn't love Pudge?
Hall of Famer. Carlton Fisk, number 4, Hall of Famer.
One of the best.
Mike Piazza 5. Yogi Berra 6, both Hall of Famers. Joe Mauer 7, Hall of Famer. Bill Dickey 8, Hall of Famer. Mickey Cochran 9th, Hall of Famer. Gabby Hartnett, number 10, Hall of Famer. And Ted Simmons, number 11, Hall of Famer. And then you have Thurman Munson at 12 and Gene Tennant at 13. I believe Thurman Munson never got his name put on the Hall of Fame ballot. I have to look into why. There was something that happened when he was a player that he was never allowed to have his name on the Hall of Fame ballot. And then you have Roy Campanella at number 17 and Roger Breshenin number 20, who are both in the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, Buster Posey sitting at the 14th best catcher, and 11 of the 13 guys in front of him are in the Hall of Fame. So, at that point he's getting in.
Yeah,
because he's got better offensive numbers than some of those guys that are ahead of him.
And look, for all the people comment in the chat, do you think Buster Posey is a Hall of Famer? I think he is. I think the resume shows enough. I think Buster Posey should be a Hall of Famer. Now, if you look at Lester's career, again, you have a 5-time All-Star, a 3-time World Series champion, a NLCS MVP in 2016, led the NL in wins in 2018. He has a no-hitter in 2008. He's also won 2 Hall of Fames in baseball with the Red Sox and the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, yeah, Lester's got a very interesting case. And again, chat, comment on John Lester too. Do you think John Lester is a Hall of Famer? I just don't. A pitcher with 200 wins is damn impressive. And like you said, the postseason alone.
That's what's going to get him in as a first ballot Hall of Famer is the postseason.
I mean, that could make Madison Bumgarner a Hall of Famer.
Like those 2 years alone, in 2013 and 2016, he made 10 playoff starts, and he was 7-1 with a 1.91 ERA.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, the guy literally in the postseason was unbelievable. And if you look at it, I just brought it up again. We're talking about, the postseason with Lester. What about Madison Bumgarner? His entire career is built off the postseason.
And that's why I said, like, Madison Bumgarner is another one where I don't think he gets in as a first ballot Hall of Fame guy just because the regular season numbers, apart from, I think, 1, maybe 2 seasons, he was nothing more than a 500 pitcher, but you had those 2 good seasons he had. There's a reason why he's 40 games above 500, and that's because he had 2 really good seasons. Other than that, he was pretty much a 500 pitcher. But what Madison Bumgarner did in the postseason too, his postseason success alone is what's going to get Bumgarner into the Hall of Fame, even if it means it's not a first ballot Hall of Fame. He will still get in at some point.
I agree. What's up, George? Morning to you. I agree. Posey 100% needs to be in. But now here's the thing, though, because listen to this. Listen to these numbers from Madison Bumgarner's postseason career. 8-3 with a 2.11 ERA in 102 and a third innings pitched. 87 strikeouts in those 102 and a third innings. In the this is ridiculous. In the World Series, 5-0 with a 0.25 ERA.
Yep.
Across 36 innings in the World Series.
He gave up 1 run, I believe, in 36 innings.
In the 2014 postseason, which was the one where they beat Kansas City in the World Series, he had 52 2/3 innings with a 1.03 ERA and 45 strikeouts. Mm-hmm. His key accolades from his postseason success: 2014 NLCS MVP, and he was a World Series MVP.
Yeah.
Of course, that was the 2014 as well. Here are the postseason by numbers. 2010, he was 2-0 with a 2.18 ERA and 3 starts.
Yep.
Now, 2012, he actually struggled. He was 1-2 with an ERA over 6.
But you got to remember, though, one of those starts, I think he gave up 9 runs. I think that was
exactly.
His first start. He got lit up, and then the last 2 starts he pitched good because I think his first start he went 2 innings and gave up 9 runs, and then the next 2 starts he went 13 total innings.
Now, 2000, I'm skipping over 1 because I want to save it for last. But in 2016, he was 1-0 with an ERA of 0. That was the wild card game that he pitched. Mm-hmm. 2014, he was 6-1 with a 1.03 ERA. And that also includes having a save in Game 7, right? Because that was Game 7, right?
Yep. He gave up 6 earned runs in 52 1/3 innings.
I think Madison Bumgarner's got a pretty damn solid case as well for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, you look at his regular season numbers. He's 134 and 124 as a starting pitcher with a 3.47 ERA. He had one season where he went 16 and 11, one season where he went 18 and 10, one season where he went 18 and 9, and then another season where he went 15 and 9. Other than that, he was a below 500 pitcher during the regular season. So regular season numbers are not Hall of Fame worthy. He's got very similar regular season numbers to that of Jake Arrieta.
Yes.
But in the playoffs is where Bumgarner shined, and what he's done in the World Series alone. Like I don't see Bumgarner ever getting in on a first ballot Hall of Fame. There's no way, postseason success or not, you can look at his regular season numbers and say you're a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Oh, and I agree with that.
He will probably be a third time on the ballot before he gets in, but he will get in at some point.
Because the other thing, again, it's like Posey. Now, Posey's got a way better case. There's no disagreement there. It would be really hard. Now, a lot of people say Bumgarner shouldn't be in at all. It would be really hard to leave guys out that have won 3 world championships.
It's the same. I'm going to make the same case for Bumgarner that I'm going to make for Eli Manning. Eli Manning's got 2 Super Bowl rings. Both rings have come against the Patriots, including one when the Patriots were 18-0. He may not have Hall of Fame worthy stats when you look at his record, when you look at his touchdown interception ratio and things like that. Those 2 Super Bowls alone are what's going to get Eli Manning into the Hall of Fame because of who he beat, and especially when the team was 18-0 when he beat him the first time.
Yeah. I agree. I think eventually it's going to get him in, like we said, 500 quarterback, but the guy beat 2 of the best teams that we've ever seen. He defeated a dynasty twice. Mm-hmm. Kind of wish it would have ended the dynasty, but it didn't. And again, you talk about the 2017, the team that was undefeated, had Tom Brady, 50 touchdowns, Randy Moss, one of the best, a great defense, everything. So, yeah, those 2 runs, and not to mention, by the way, I always say the most underrated aspect of both those runs was when he had to go into Lambeau Field each time as a wild card team against the 1 seed in the NFC. Takes out Brett Favre, takes out the 1 seed Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Always.
In one of those games, it was like -50 outside.
That was 2007. I remember because Coughlin's face is literally the color of my shirt.
Yep.
But no, yeah, like I said, it's going to be really hard to keep a guy out that has 3 championships, and especially that because he was the catalyst for at some point for all 3. Mm-hmm. Like he is a huge reason that they won all 3 of those World Series. And that 2014 run alone with the 6 wins, the ERA under 1, coming back out of the bullpen in Game 7, closing the door there. That's what Hall of Famers are built off of. Like
I mean, if you remember that too, he started Game 6.
Yeah,
because I think the Giants were down 3-2. So they started him Game 6, won Game 6 to force a Game 7. Then he came out in Game 7 and pitched the final 2 innings for a 2-inning save.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another reason why this year Yoshinobu Yamamoto has become one of my favorite pitchers because, he pitched in Game 6 and then came back out in Game 7 and got the save. It was Madison Bumgarner-esque. So, yeah, back to that list. I don't, outside of those 2, of Posey and Lester, I don't see a compelling argument for anybody else. Soria doesn't have the track record. Zimmerman is very, very fringe. I mean, I think we're kind of reaching for at that point. Zimmerman, give me a break.
No. What you just said about the Yamamoto thing too, how he had a Madison Bumgarner type run last year. I mean, damn close. He was 5-1 with a 1.45 ERA last year. Gave up 6 earned runs, the same amount of earned runs that Madison Bumgarner gave up. The only difference was he pitched 2 less innings than Bumgarner did. Otherwise, he puts up pretty much the exact same numbers in the playoffs last year than Bumgarner did in 2014.
Make the case. But yeah, I mean, everybody else on this list, I'm going to take out Lester, Posey, and Zimmerman. And again, I don't even think Zimmerman's going to be a Hall of Famer.
I don't think he gets voted in by the writers. I think he gets voted in by the players eventually.
Everybody else on this list, and if George is still watching, he may have a cow if he hears some of these names. All these others on this list had a very good 3 to 5 year stretch. Arrieta, good 3 to 5 year stretch. Bruce, Asdrubal Cabrera, Starlin Castro, Brett Gardner, Todd Frazier, Dexter Fowler. Wade Davis, if he was a reliever his whole career, maybe be a Hall of Famer because when he was a reliever, he was excellent. But like Jay Happ, what are we doing? Kazmir, injuries set him back too much early in his career. Doesn't have enough time in there. Andrew Miller, great reliever for like 4 years. And then that's it. Kyle Seager, again, solid player, not a Hall of Fame. I don't even remember when Ervin Santana had a peak. So, and
yeah, that 1 year with the Angels, he won 20 games, didn't he?
Okay, I've seen a bunch of random guys win 20 games. Oh, and
he was fine.
He was again, a good 3 to 5 year stretch, like I said, and then.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, so this is how we were just making the case for Madison Bumgarner, and like based on Bumgarner's playoff numbers, Erwin Santana has a better career numbers than Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah,
Madison Bumgarner is 134 and 124. Erwin Santana has 151 wins.
Yes, but again, I thought we came into a mutual agreement that I don't think Bumgarner will get in alone just because of what he did in October.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, people are gonna like put up like Bumgarner's like regular season numbers. They're gonna try to make like multiple arguments, like not counting his playoff argument in there. Which the playoff argument's obviously what's gonna get him in. But like Erwin Santana, like 151 and 129, so he had more wins than Bumgarner. He had more innings pitched than Bumgarner. He had fewer strikeouts. I mean, he may not have had a peak. I think he had 3, 4, 5 seasons with at least 15 wins, which is still a good number.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Now, the last guy on this list what is Mitch Moreland doing on this list? And it's no disrespect to Mitch Moreland. He was a very solid first baseman, but what are we doing? What are we doing?
Did he have a good playoff? Did he have a good playoff run or something?
I sure hope he did, because if not,
186 career home runs, 251 batting average. That sounds like you're swell. No, he didn't really do anything in the playoffs either.
I mean,
no, I shouldn't say that. 2010 with Texas, he did hit a 348 in the playoffs.
That was his rookie year too.
And then 2017 with the Red Sox, he hit a 385 in the playoffs.
And of course, he has the World Series ring with Boston in 2018. So, he's been to the World Series multiple times because of the couple failed years with the Rangers. But yeah, again, Posey is a first ballot to me.
Mm-hmm.
Lester, I think, will get in. I think he'll get in because, again, 3 World Series. He's pitched a no-hitter. He has 200 career wins. I'm not completely sure he's first ballot. I think it may take another time for him to get in, but I think he's a Hall of Famer. The rest.
Do you want to know why I think he gets in as a first ballot Hall of Famer though?
Go ahead.
You look at all the pitchers that have pitched in baseball since 1900. And like 1900 is kind of when they started keeping track of like all the statistics and everything like that. Lester's only one of 29 left-handers to get to 200 wins. Like, you look at all the Hall of Fame pitchers in like the Hall of Fame, not many of them are. I mean, obviously, there's a large handful of left-handed pitchers that are in the Hall of Fame, but of them have had 200 wins. There's only 29. But to be that puts you in good company also because the other 28 guys ahead of him are in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, again, it's not a. I don't completely disagree. Like I said, I feel like Lester has the track record. I think he has the resume. It feels like he feels like someone who they would make wait a year.
I would agree if he wasn't a cancer survivor. That too he has going in his favor because you got to remember his career got off to a later start because of the cancer. He pretty much lost 3 years because he had to go through cancer treatment. You give him an extra 3 years, he's in the 220, 230 win range now. Now he's in the top 10 all time for left-handed victories because there's only 10 pitchers in Major League Baseball history for lefties that have won 230 games. So now if he gets into that area, now he's a top 10 lefty.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But yeah, outside of Lester and Posey, Zimmerman is a fringe reach to me. Everything else is just it's solid players who had a really good 5-year stretch.
I mean, you look at the players that have recently gotten into the Hall of Fame too that we grew up on watching. Miguel Cabrera and Adrian Beltre are really the last two players that we've grown up watching that have actually deserved it based on the numbers they put up.
Miguel Cabrera should have been in the day after he retired. Shouldn't you have to wait for the ballot?
I know. Same thing with Adrian Beltre, though, because Adrian Beltre had over 3,000 hits. I think he had like 480 career home runs. Like those two basically produced like a Hall of Fame player. Like when they retired, you knew they were going in compared to now. It's like, oh, this player had a great career. I don't know if he's getting in because he hasn't put up that great numbers, but he put up great numbers for this generation.
Yeah, again, I think the only two like shoo-ins that we are currently watching now in today's game of baseball that are surefire Hall of Famers are Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge.
And we got to throw Verlander and Scherzer in there too.
Verlander, I'm not. They're going to get in. That's why I haven't brought them up. They're going to get in. They're in. All right. They're on the last leg of their careers. What I'm trying to say. Like they're in already in my eyes. That's why I haven't brought them up. Verlander is 100% a Hall of Famer. So and Max Scherzer, his 2019 getting them a World Series alone could get him in because
and I mean he's what now top 7 all time in strikeouts. So yeah, I mean he's in.
Who else are we watching every day? That is
Kenley Jansen.
Kenley again, another guy that I would put in there and say
roll is Chapman too.
Chapman, yes.
And then if Craig Kimbrell gets the 400 saves, which I think he's at 392, he'd be another one to get in there because you get to that 400 save mark, you're pretty much solidifying yourself in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but now let me ask you. We're talking about Shohei. We're talking about Aaron Judge. What about somebody like Manny Machado and Bryce Harper?
I'm gonna pull it up. Manny Machado, I think, has a shot. Hold on.
Oh, well. There's some very non-baseball news, but something I just found out.
So Manny, I'll let you say that in 1 second. So Manny Machado right now has over 350 career home runs.
Okay.
I don't have the exact number, but he is in the top 5 all time in home runs by a third baseman. Manny Machado, I think, gets in because he is going to get over 400. And he's probably going to end up around 450 when his career's over. Because I think he's, 35 years old right now. He averages 20 home runs for the next 5 years. It's another 100 home runs. He's going to get to about 450. Maybe 460 when his career's over. Machado's going to get in. Just because of where he's going to end up ranking among the all-time lead. I think Mike Schmidt, I believe, is the all-time leader in home runs for third baseman. Manny Machado gets to What does Mike Schmidt have for home runs? Yeah, Mike Schmidt, 548 home runs at third. Eddie Matthews at 512 is number 2. Adrian Beltre has 477. He is 3. Chipper Jones has 468. He is 4. And then Manny Machado right now has 374. So he is 5th all time in home runs by a third baseman. So yeah, 374. He's 100 home runs off basically from Adrian Beltre, who's 3rd all time in home runs by a third baseman. Machado's going to get in.
Okay. Do you think Harper gets in?
Harper's the mystery. Just because, and I hate saying it because injuries are part of the game. Prior to the last 5-year stretch where Harper seems to have had like a lot more injuries than he had early on, Harper was on a Hall of Fame pace. He was on a 500 home run pace. He was on basically a pace that you needed to have to get into the Hall of Fame. Now that he's had all these injuries, he's going to get to 400 home runs, but I'm not sure he's going to get into the Hall just because injuries have really derailed the end of his career.
Yeah, I mean, the last 4 to 5 years have been rough on Bryce Harper. I mean, he's missed a ton of time with injuries, and as much as I love the guy, he's been the rejuvenator of a franchise that desperately needed a star player, and he has been everything you could ask for in that. It's just the injuries have really like taken its toll. I mean, if you just look at 2019, he plays 157 games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just taking his time in Philly. I'm not even talking about his time in Washington. He hasn't played 150 games since 2020. Now, 2020, he played 58. That was the COVID season, so we're not going to count that. 2021, he played 141. 2022, he only played 99. 2023, he only played 126. 2024, he played 145. Last year, he played 132. And this year, he's played 36 so far. So
he needs the Phillies to make the playoffs another couple seasons, and he needs to just go on one or two like playoff tears where he puts the team on his back for a playoff run and either leads him to the World Series or gets him to the NLCS and they lose in Game 7, but he puts the team on his back and just has every big clutch hit possible to kind of further improve his Hall of Fame case, I think.
Because 2022, that was exactly what he did. That postseason run that he was on.
He needs another one of those to be like, I'm a Hall of Fame player. Like if he finishes with around like 430 home runs, but he can get you another good like playoff performance, then I think he can get in. Yeah. But he needs another one of those runs.
Yeah, and look, and I'm not trying to play Mr. Biased here. I mean, I am a Phillies guy, but still, I mean, he does have some of the hardware to make a strong case. I mean, he's a 2-time MVP. He's won the MVP twice. He's an 8-time All-Star. He's a former Rookie of the Year. He was the NLCS MVP. He's won 4 Silver Sluggers. He's won 2 Hank Aaron Awards. He was All MLB First Team in 2021 from his MVP year. He's closing in on 2,000 career hits. He's got a lifetime 280 batting average. He does have a strong case. Yes, injuries have derailed it, but I think he will have a strong case to eventually get in. First ballot to me is a no for me.
Yeah, like I said, he needs to have another big playoff performance to move him up the ballot. I don't think he'll ever, unless he somehow just goes on like a 4-year binge, like Schwarber's been on, where he can somehow get to 500 home runs. I don't see Harper being a first ballot.
I think the only way that would happen is he could DH, but he can't DH because of Schwarber.
Right.
But speaking of what I was going to say, rest in peace, Ted Turner.
Cheapers.
Yep, 38 minutes ago, Ted Turner passed away at the age of 87.
I got some news that'll make you happy too.
What we got?
So the Phillies want to get younger, right?
So they say.
Well, Phillies number 6 prospect who just turned 21, Arun Escobar, has earned minor league player of the week. He's 10 for 19 so far in May, Just had a 4-hit game, and the Phillies are looking to promote him from AA to AAA shortly.
Good. Get him up here so I can see if he can play.
He is one of the 10 youngest players in minor league baseball. Well, one of the 10 youngest players in the current AA league that he is in.
Yeah, see that's the thing. If I'm the Phillies, I am trying to continue to build this team around again, your JTs, your Bryce Harpers, your Kyle Schwarbers, your Trey Turners, but everywhere else, I would be looking to try get younger, and even if I have to start signing outside the organization, building those pieces back up because some guys have had some strong starts to the year, but I'm going to keep that for later on when we get into our Phillies and Cubs talk because for anybody that realizes we give Phillies and Cubs talk more than anything because we follow those teams.
I mean, he's a second baseman, which you guys could use. Last year, as a 20-year-old, he hit a 270 across 3 minor league levels with 15 homers, 62 RBIs, 60 walks, 98 strikeouts, and 24 steals. He's hitting a 275 so far in AA with 3 homers, 18 RBIs, 13 walks, 18 strikeouts, and 7 steals so far.
Hopefully he's another building block that gets up here soon and can start contributing because Aiden Miller still hasn't been cleared for baseball activities because of whatever that back injury he had back in the spring, and it's killing me to watch that. So hopefully Aaron Escobar is somebody who can come up here and just start contributing because, you let the kids play, man. It helps. I mean, Justin Crawford, 2 more hits last night, hitting 270. He's been strong down there coming up. He's had 2 walk-offs already in his young career. He also does the little Ichiro twirl the bat over his head when he swings, which I think is awesome. I mean, Andrew Painter's been off to a slow start, but again, it's weird. Cole Hamels got off to the same slow start. He freaking had a great debut. Then he pitched an ERA over 6 for 13 starts.
See, he's another one that's going to be in the Hall of Fame conversation too. Cole Hamels. Just because he's over 200 wins also. He's one of those lefties over that 200 win mark, a great postseason resume, and one good postseason run.
Oh, yeah, the problem was, that 2009 postseason run hurts it, though. That was brutal.
Yeah. But he'll be another one that when he gets his, I think next year he goes on the docket. Next year he'll be available, 2028. He'll be a Hall of Fame eligible, so he'll be another one that'll be kind of does he get it on first ballot because of the wins and everything else? But again, one of 29 lefties with over 200 wins. I think he's at 212 or 214.
Fun fact, no, he does not have 200 wins.
What does he got?
163.
Oh, I thought he was over 200.
No, it felt like he should have.
So then maybe he doesn't get in then.
I mean, he's 163 and 122 with a 3.43 ERA. I think the problem with Cole Hamels will be. Let me go look at some accolades we got here. I mean,
no hitter. I know that he threw the no hitter against the Cubs.
Yeah. He also contributed to a combined no hitter as well, which was hilarious. But another guy, he's got a World Series. He was the NLCS and World Series MVP in that same postseason run, 4-time All-Star. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. It's a very good question to have. I'm not completely sure if he gets in, though. And I love Cole, too. Let me just point that out right now.
I loved him when he went to the Cubs, too, even for the year and a half. It was the back end of his career, but I always liked Cole Hamels a lot.
I've always loved Cole. He's been he was the ace of our staff when I was growing up. And I mean, then of course they loaded them up with a bunch of more guys like that with Halladay and Lee and Oswalt. But the 2008 run that he had was unreal. And 2009, unfortunately, was rough on him. But after that, he really settled in. He was one of the better lefties in baseball for a good portion there. And I don't know if Hall of Fame worthy for Cole is in the conversation right now.
So here's the other question that I'm going to have, and obviously we have hopefully 15 years before we have to have this conversation. Does Paul Skeens get into the Hall of Fame if he finishes his career with a losing record?
Oh my God! Why? Why?
Because I
Why
was I
would you?
because I was looking this up, and there are 4 pitchers in the Hall of Fame that have losing records. So they
And they
do.
are.
I trying to find that right now because this is like so. 2 of them are Negro League pitchers. Like this is going way back into the archives.
There are four
Raleigh
pitchers in
Raleigh
the.
Raleigh Fingers was 114 and 118.
Okay.
But then again, he wasn't a starter. He wasn't a starter his whole career. He was a closer most of it.
Yeah. So that I get. That I get.
Yeah. Let me see here. Like all these guys who are in the Hall of Fame that have below 500 records are all relievers.
Okay. Well, then that makes sense because relievers.
But even then, though, Paul Skeens could strike out 3,500 hitters. He could win multiple Cy Youngs and this and that. But if he finishes with a losing record for his career based on the teams he plays for, does Major League Baseball hold that against him?
I don't think they would.
Because I would not.
I don't think so because the guy.
Like let's just say hypothetically he plays for the Pirates his entire career, which I highly doubt that's going to happen. Just hypothetically, let's just say he played for the Pirates for a 15-year career. He averages 7 wins a season because he doesn't get run support, and he averages 10 losses a season. His career record would be like 122 and 150, but he would have like a 2.2 ERA.
I think he would get in.
I do too, because you put a 2.2 ERA in any other team in baseball, you're winning 15 plus games every single year.
Yeah, I 100% think he gets in because again, I think we have to take into consideration of the lack of run support that he's had throughout his career so far.
I mean, the guy had a 1.96 ERA last year and was under 500.
So, yeah, I definitely think he would get in because again, we have to take into consideration what the circumstances were with him because again, pitching to no run support is very hard. It is very hard to watch a pitcher pitch with 1 run leads almost their entire time. So I think he would get in still. If Paul Skeens stays on the trajectory that he is on, he will definitely get into the Hall of Fame because I think he's on the trajectory to get there.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of some of the best pitchers in baseball, there's one in Detroit now who has now landed on the IL list. Tarik Skubal and the good old loose bodies in the elbow. No time. What do we have a timetable, or is it just or no?
3 months.
What does this mean for the Tigers?
Well, we made the case earlier when we started this podcast that the Tigers were foolish to not give Tarik Skubal $30 million when they gave Framber Valdez more. But in hindsight, did they dodge a bullet? No. Because the loose bodies in the elbow tends to lead Tommy John down the road. And for the most part, Skubal's been very healthy his entire career. So this is really his first significant injury where he's going to miss a ton of time. But this is usually step one to having Tommy John. Like if you have loose bodies in the elbow, you're kind of going in there to clean things up, which delays the inevitable, but it at least kind of delays you having Tommy John. So now the question is, what happens from here? Does his market value take a hit next year? Does he get less money than anticipated because of this next year? Because now teams are going to know that it's coming.
Yeah. And again, this is the formula that you get in today's baseball with guys that throw 100, 80, 90 to 100 times a game.
It makes the division very interesting too, just because You have the NL Central, where every team in the NL Central is above 500 right now. And you have the AL Central, where I believe every team is under 500.
Yeah, and I mean, and if it comes into winning that Central, the biggest difference maker the Tigers have always had is now on the shelf for
Scooble.
3 months.
Yep. So this leaves that division wide open, where now you could have a team like, dare I say, the White Sox, who are only one game under 500 right now. That's actually playing better than a lot of people thought they would be playing. You could have a team like the White Sox hovering around 500 all season. Maybe they make a move at the deadline. And I'm not saying they go out and get like a completely game-changing pitcher like a Sandy Alcantara or something like that, but maybe they go and make a deal at the deadline with one of these teams that are floundering, like the Mets, like any one of these teams that people thought were going to be a good team that is struggling. And maybe they add to their roster. Now all of a sudden the White Sox go from a team that's hovering around 500 to a team that wins 84 games and they win that division.
Murakami.
Munetaka Murakami.
That is a very powerful man.
Yes, he is. Did you see the stat with him the other day? It made me laugh so hard. So he's the definition of a home run or bust player for the most part, right?
Okay.
So he's tied with Aaron Judge for the Major League with 14 home runs. Yeah, 14 home runs is ready for this guy. You know what the Japanese record is for a rookie?
Record for a rookie, I'm going to say 20.
Shohei Ohtani had 22 home runs as a rookie. Munetaka Murakami is going to almost have that broken at the end of May. He's at 14 right now. Shohei had 22 as a rookie, and that's the Japanese record for a rookie. But anyway, so he's got 14 home runs right now. He's got 28 walks, 51 strikeouts. He's hitting a 244 right now, okay? He's got 31 hits this season. 14 of his 31 hits are home runs, which means almost half of his hits are home runs. 16 hits are singles. And he's got one double.
Okay, so basically what you're telling me with Murakami is the ball is either going to an outfielder for a single or it's going 400 feet over the wall.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
He literally has 30 of his 31 hits are singles or home runs.
That's hilarious.
He got his first major league double Monday night at Anaheim.
Well, no, it does put the interesting question. I mean, the Guardians are tied with Detroit right now. And then you got
like we've seen the Guardians like do this before, like the last 2 years with Stephen Vogt, where they kind of hover around 500 up until the All-Star break, and then all of a sudden they just get on one hot stretch for 20 games, and that's enough usually to win in that division. So I mean, you got to think the Guardians right now are still the favorites now that Scooble's out, but like Royals are like I think 3 games out. The White Sox are only 1 or 2 games out. The Twins are only 1 or 2 games out. Like any one of these teams gets on a 7-8 game win streak and they take control of that division.
And I mean, if you look at Detroit's rotation now without Scooble, I mean, Jack Flaherty has been he's been getting roughed up all year. His ERA is only a tick under 6.
He's been getting rocked.
Casey Mize is out right now. You got Jackson Jobe out for the year with Tommy John from last year. Mize is on the IL, like I said, with a thigh. He was actually pitching pretty solid before he went on the IL, so I'm sure he'll hopefully be back soon for them. Reese Olson's out for the year with a shoulder injury. Now Scooble's out. Fromber had been pitching well until last night, which, by the way, that whole situation, what a mess that was. Gave up 10 runs last night. Verlander's on the IL with a hip injury.
Oh boy, Verlander.
So now a rotation that, when we talked about this in the offseason that we thought would be one of the strengths of this team and potentially could be one of the better ones in baseball, they're running low now on available arms.
They are.
So This again, it does open up the window for a team like the Guardians, definitely the Royals. I think the Royals' record is bad; it's not good, but they are still a talented baseball team. They still have Bobby Witt, they still have Vinny, they still have Michael Garcia. They have a lot. They still have a lot of talent, and some of their starting pitching. I mean, Michael Wacha's pitched well for them so far. They still have Seth
Yep.
Lugo. Cole Reagans has had his some up and down starts so far this year, but I think the Royals could still make a run at this thing.
And the only reason why the only reason why I'm keeping the White Sox in that group too is since April 3rd, the White Sox have the lowest ERA in Major League Baseball. Their starting staff has a combined 2.67 ERA since April 3rd.
Damn.
Like their starting staff is pitched so much better than what anyone thought they would. And if you can get that kind of starting pitching all year, you're guaranteed that Munetaka is going to give you something in one of those games.
Yeah. And then if you even look at Minnesota, yes, they're 4 games under, but even they've had some. Can't talk today. A solid starting staff. I mean, Mick Abel. Now he's had some really solid starts. He, of course, now is also on the IL with an elbow injury.
Pablo Lopez is out for the year, I believe.
Pablo's out for the year. Taj Bradley looks like a stud. I mean, still 4-1 with a 2.87 ERA, 52 strikeouts, 47 2/3 innings. Stud. Joe Ryan, I think, he's day to day with an elbow. Geez, what is with all the elbow injuries, my guys? What is happening? Everyone's hurt.
Don't jinx yourself. You're getting Zach Wheeler back.
I'm like, what? I mean, yeah, true. But Wheels has pitched well through 2 games so far. Velocity's still coming back, but I mean, he was touching 96 in Atlanta. It wasn't terrible in Miami. He was touching like 94. I think he hit 95 here and there. But I mean, it's going to take some time for him to get back into a full swing of things. But he's looked good. I mean, the Marlins start was a very encouraging one.
Yeah.
But no, I do think that this Central Division is wide open, and I think a team like the Royals, that would be me right now. I think a team like the Royals, if they get hot, can really take advantage of this. Of course, the Guardians will find a way, like you said, under Stephen Vogt. They will find that little stretch that will get them back in the first place. The White Sox, because of Murakami and the fact that team has played a lot better than I think a lot of people expected, that could be the case. And the problem with Detroit is Detroit lost that division last year strictly because for about a 2 to 3 week stretch, they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if they were standing right next to it.
No, they couldn't.
And they didn't. And what annoyed me in the offseason, like I said, we just talked about Paul Skeens with this, right? Taylor Skubal can go 8 innings every night, strike out 12. It doesn't matter if you don't score runs.
Right.
They did nothing to fix their offensive woes. Yes, Kevin McGonigal has been awesome. He's still my pick for Rookie of the Year, and he probably will win it. But you did nothing.
He will not. Munetaka Murakami is going to get it if that guy just shatters Shohei's record, which, like I said, at this rate, he's going to have the thing broken by the end of May.
Murakami's probably going to end the year with like 35 dingers.
Right now they said he's on pace for 46.
Exactly. So he's probably going to end with 30, 35 homers.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you have 30, 35 home runs as a rookie, you're pretty much a shoo-in.
Yeah. So and I don't disagree with you with that at all. But the problem I had with the Tigers going into this year, I said, yes, as good as that staff when healthy, with Fromber and Skubal, yeah, that's great. But if you don't hit, you get the same situation like last year where when you don't hit, you lose your division in 3 weeks because they literally could not buy runs. And they did nothing to fix it in the offseason outside of adding McGonigal, who, again, he was already in their system. They changed nothing. They needed another big-time veteran bat in that lineup. Alex Bregman was a guy I thought they would have been all in on, and they ended up not doing it. And now they're going through the same thing where, like, they're not hitting the greatest. Riley Green is still a very good run producer, but that's really it. Spencer Torkelson still has his struggles from here and there. Gleyber Torres had a fine year last year for them, but he's not a guy that I'm going to look at consistently and say, yeah, that's our guy. That's our top veteran bat addition. They needed to fix the offense over the offseason, and they haven't done it. And now that Skubal's out and Mize is hurt and Verlander's out and Job's out for the year and Olson's out for the year, the only one that's healthy right now is Fromber, and he just got rocked for 10 runs last night.
Mm-hmm.
I am concerned that the Tigers will not have a stranglehold on this division for like they did, because they don't have the bats to do it, in my opinion. And with all the rotation injuries, I don't know how they will sustain this. And teams like Cleveland, Kansas City, and Chicago could jump them. I don't think Minnesota's going to do it. Minnesota doesn't have enough firepower on either side of the ball right now. I watch the Twins once every fifth day, and why is that? That's when Taj Bradley is pitching. But outside of that, those other three teams definitely have a shot.
Yeah.
Right now, if I had to pick, I think the most well-equipped team to do it is Kansas City. Cleveland.
Yeah, I can see it.
Cleveland's top. Tanner Bybee can't buy a win this year. So their starting staff is struggling. And offensively, the Guardians are always like they're there, but they're not. It's Jose Ramirez and whoever's the hot rookie of the month over in Cleveland. Chicago, I think it's definitely improving. I just don't think they're there yet. Kansas City still has, like I said, you got Bobby Witt, who's I think talent-wise, is one of the 5 best players in the game.
Yeah.
Still got Vinny Pasquantino, underratedly driving in 90 runs a year, which nobody talks about. Michael Garcia is still there. They still get some solid starting pitching. Their bullpen has been definitely better. I mean, Estevez was a mess early, but they've solidified the back end. See, I think this whole thing is opening up for Kansas City. I think they could jump in and take this whole thing.
It's good. I think it's going to be very similar to when 2011 when the Cardinals ended up winning the World Series that year. The Cardinals won the NL Central.
Much for bringing that up.
The Cardinals won the NL Central at 83 and 79 that year. And then they just got hot in the playoffs and won the World Series. Like given the way the AL Central is right now, I would not be surprised to see the division winner get 83 or 84 wins in that division. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they would make a St. Louis Cardinals type run in the playoffs, but I think it's just going to be one of those divisions where everybody hovers right around 500 for most of the year, and then it's just going to take a 15 or a 20 game stretch after the All-Star break where a team goes like 14-6. And that 14-6 will be what creates enough separation for them to win the division.
Mm-hmm. I'm perfectly okay. You depressed me now, though, because of what you just brought up.
Oh, I know. I believe the Cardinals beat the Phillies that year in the playoffs, didn't
they? 4-0 lead in Game 2, and Cliff Lee decides to have like the worst 4 innings of his life.
All right.
If we win that game, we probably sweep them.
Probably, yeah.
Because Halladay and the Bats took care of Game 1, and then Hamels was absolutely sensational in Game 3. And then a squirrel ran on the field and scared Roy Oswalt, and that ended that. And then it was a crapshoot ever since.
Right.
The 2011 Phillies still break my heart to this day. But inside of Taylor Skubal, there is another superstar injury, and that's Ronald Acuna being placed on the IL with a hamstring injury. And you had an interesting thought on this. The question was your question revolving around this.
Do the Braves actually start to cool off now that he is no longer going to be in that lineup? Because you cannot tell me a single person in the world, whether it be an actual fan of the Atlanta Braves or anything, had the Braves getting off to the start they got off to.
No, I don't think a lot of us expected them to get off to this hot of a start. I'm going to say no because they still have a bunch of guys that are hitting like crazy. And yes, I do realize that Acuna is a very big injury. I mean, at the top of their order, but Drake Baldwin is still swinging the bat well. Matt Olson's having a good start to the year. Ozzie Albies is swinging the bat pretty well. I think they have enough guys that are still hitting the ball very well to manage around this. Acuna was off to a decent start, not the greatest, so I think it's going to affect them. I mean, you don't replace Ronald Acuna, but
Yeah.
I think they will. I still think they're in good shape. They still have a bunch of guys that are hitting the ball very well, so I really think that I don't think it's going to hamper them too much.
My only concern with them is even when you look at the last couple of years, like granted they haven't played nearly as good this year or nearly as good the last couple of years as they are this year. But when Ronald Acuna has been out of the lineup, the Braves average almost 2 runs less per game.
Yeah.
So even when he's not producing, just having his presence in that lineup makes everybody better because it takes the pressure off of every single person from the top down. That's why even if he's only out 2 weeks or however long he's going to be out, do the Braves, I'm not saying the Braves are going to lose like 9 or 10 games in a row here or anything like that. But do the Braves kind of hit like a little rough patch now where they play 500 baseball or maybe slightly below 500 over the next couple of weeks because their offense isn't producing at the level it was when he's in the lineup?
Well, I think there's definitely going to be a small drop off because again, he's your basically if he's their leadoff hitter, he basically is you're as the leadoff hitter, you're the tone setter.
Mm-hmm.
Even if leadoff hitters get out on the first at bat, but if you have a 13, 14 pitch at bat as a leadoff hitter, you're setting the tone because now the entire rest of your lineup is sitting there in the dugout and on the on deck circle and looking like, okay, this is what we're looking at tonight. He is the tone setter. So yes, I think they are definitely going to miss him in terms of that. But I think they still have enough as long as they're able to find a way to have someone be a suitable leadoff hitter until he is back. I still think they have the guys that are swinging the bat well. Like I said, Olson, Baldwin, Ozzie. Now the question is, who do you put in that leadoff spot?
If I'm the Braves, I put Ozzie.
You think Ozzie?
He's done it before. And he obviously doesn't have the same amount of success at it as Acuna does, but he has done leadoff before. And then my secondary option would be Michael Harris.
I was going to bring up Michael Harris actually too, but yeah, I mean Michael Harris is having a really good year too. He's batting over 300, and plus, I mean, no offense to you, Ozzie really plays the tone setter in the middle of that order. Do you really want to mess up the middle of the order, which has been really good between them, the 3 guys that I mentioned? And I mean, Austin Riley's still trying to get it going, but I think you have enough guys at the bottom of the order that can make up if you moved Harris up. You know, Mauricio Dubon's still hitting 270. Jorge Mateo's hitting 271. Like, who are these guys? They're just getting this. They are getting ridiculous production from guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Ozzie may be the favorite. I mean, right now he's got that he struck out 19 times. He's walked 12. That's what may get him to be the leadoff hitter because of the strikeout to walk ratio. Yeah. But he's got the 929 OPS, hitting 330. Yeah, I think they may do. I mean, I think Ozzie may be the guy here because
he's done it before. Like when Acuna missed all that time with the torn ACL, like Ozzie Albies was their leadoff hitter.
Yeah, I think they just put Ozzie up there. Baldwin still hits second, and then you still have your middle of your order somewhat still intact. Maybe you move Harris up to kind of fill in some of the role for Ozzie in the middle of the order. So,
As a,
Again, it's
as
just
as a leadoff hitter, Ozzy Albies has batted leadoff in 147 career games. He's got a 243 average with 34 home runs, 90 RBIs as a leadoff hitter.
okay. Yep. So Ozzy it is.
Average is
Ozzy Albies
obviously
it
the
is.
average. Obviously, the average is significantly lower than his 267 career average, but still 243 as a leadoff hitter. If you're hitting 34 home runs and driving in 90, any team's going to take that. So
What's Michael Harris's numbers? Has he ever been a leadoff hitter?
he has. I can give you that in a second.
Yeah, I was saying, what's Michael Harris up to in the leadoff spot? Is it a possibility that is a better option?
Michael Harris has played 160 games as a leadoff hitter, 249 average,
Okay.
with 20 home runs and 20 steals.
So maybe I don't know. Like I said, I think you got to look at it as do you want to move Ozzy up there and mess up the middle of your order, or do you want to use Harris? And I mean, the bottom half of your order, like they still get decent at bats from, like I said, Dubon, Mateo, Eli White, Yastrzemski. They still get quality at bats from them. And Harris is off to a good start. You put him out in front of guys like Drake Baldwin and Matt Olson. Who are you pitching to?
You're
It
playing
could benefit him.
You're playing Russian roulette and you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, essentially. But I think those are the two candidates that you do it.
I mean, Drake Baldwin as a leadoff hitter hits 315 with an on base percentage of 392.
Who was that? Baldwin, you said?
Yeah.
A catcher batting leadoff. Never thought I'd see the day.
Schwarber's done it. He's technically not a catcher, but Schwarber does it. He came into the league as a catcher.
Oh, Schwarber hasn't been a catcher since like 2012 when he was in freaking college.
I'm trying to think about it. There has been some catchers that have batted leadoff before.
Oh yeah, it's not common, is what I was
Still,
going.
392 on base percentage. It's kind of hard to.
Maybe it is Drake Baldwin. Well,
It's kind of hard not to try it.
Yeah, right. It's definitely worth a shot. First pitch for their game is at 4:10 against Seattle, so we'll see what the lineup looks like today. We'll get into our predictions for today because it's usually getaway day, but for some it's not. Not for us.
There's a lot of 4-game series this week too.
By the way, what's your opinion on the 4-game series now that go Friday to Monday?
I freaking hate it. It's so stupid.
That's so weird.
It's so dumb. They do it a couple times every year. It's so dumb.
No, because it's not as dumb.
It's not as dumb as what we had last year. We had a 4-game series that started on a Tuesday and went Tuesday to Friday.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here because I'm usually the guy who knows the 4-game series are Thursday to Sunday, and I'm sitting here and I'm watching the game on. It had to have been Saturday because they lost Friday, and McCarthy says Phillies win. They take Game 3 of this 4-game series, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, so we're playing the afternoon game on Sunday, and that's the other stupid thing. Why are we still playing the afternoon game on Sunday?
Because Sunday is you can only have that one night game on Sundays.
Okay, but yeah, fair enough. And then Monday we're playing at 6:40 again. It's like what? Yeah. Who came up with the 4-game series that go Friday to Monday? That doesn't make a bit of sense. I'm not upset we won 3 out of the 4 in Miami, but still, it was like it threw me for such a loop, and I'm like, what? Why must we do so many different things with the schedule in baseball? They're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Well, since we're on those topics, our teams, what a difference a week makes.
Your team especially.
2 weeks ago, your team was struggling and got hot. Now, fast forward from last week. Last week, I fired my manager. Now we've won 7 of 8.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's good to see them actually respond. I think that was the goal here. I think that's a big reason, why Topper got fired. I think they were going to say, do you guys still have a pulse? I'm being dead serious. I think a big thing with this was them looking at this team and saying, okay, we've given you guys a 4-year window together, all of you, Topper at the helm, you guys in the dugout every night, and you're not responding. Do you still have that same response in you? I don't know it. Like, see, this is the kind of stuff Dave Dombrowski should have said. Instead of saying, I don't know if my superstar is still elite or not, which, by the way, Dustin, we had a conversation about him about 2 weeks ago. Hey, he's looking pretty damn elite to me right now.
Right.
I mean, he's hitting 280. OPS is 948. He's hitting the ball out of the ballpark. He's looking good. He's healthy. That's the other important thing. But I think the better question still should have been, instead of just singling out Bryce Harper and saying, is he still elite? I think you should have said to yourself, do I still trust this team as a fully functioning unit? And clearly the answer within the first 29 games was no.
I still think they have a good year. I just don't know if they get to 90 wins this year, knowing the hole they dug themselves.
Yeah, I could agree. I think that
like even at 88 and 74, you're 24 games above 500 with your new manager at that point. Which that's basically a 95 win season if you do that all year. So they can be playing at like a 95 win pace and still only end up with 88 wins. But then the question is, does 88 wins get you in the playoffs?
Yeah, like I said, I think that's another big reason why they did it when they did it. It's like, well, we have to get ourselves out of the hole now before it's too late. And the message being sent for those first 30 games wasn't good. I mean, clearly something was wrong where there was not saying that something happened behind the scenes, but there was clearly somewhat sort of a disconnect between Thompson and the Phillies this year. Not sure what it was, but the message being sent across with Don Mattingly, and I mean, they are just playing amazing baseball. They're doing all the little things right. They're not making the mental mistakes that they usually make. The lineup is starting to contribute. Bryce Harper's hitting the ball well. Trey Turner's starting to put together some decent at bats. Bryson Stott's got 3 homers in 5 days. He's on a tear. JT Realmuto's starting to swing the bat decently since coming back from the IL. Still can't get Alec Bohm going for some reason. Adolis Garcia, he's actually putting together some at bats. I actually seen him walk a few times. I couldn't believe I saw that. Kyle Schwarber, he's Kyle Schwarber. The ball's going 500 feet or it's going nowhere. So that's fine. That's who he is. But
don't be hating on Kyle
Brandon
Schwarber.
Marsh. What's that?
So don't be hating on Kyle Schwarber. If you really hate him that much, you can send him back my way. I'll take him back.
I don't hate him at all. I didn't say anything about him. I didn't say I hated him. I love Kyle Schwarber. I'm just saying that's who he is, though. When it's going good, it's going real good. But when it's going bad, you're 0 for 5 strikeouts like Saturday in Miami. But my point, and Brandon Marsh is having a good start to the year. He's hitting over 315. I think he had 3 hits again last night. The one thing I like about Don Mattingly is he's not trying to. Here's the thing I dislike about baseball managers these days. There's either a baseball guy or there's the stat sheet nerd guy. Topper, I thought was a baseball guy, but I felt like he went way too matchup based in his approach to games. Topper. And I felt that way since Game 6 of the World Series when he put in Jose Alvarado against Yordan Alvarez. Zach Wheeler was dealing in that game, and I would have trusted him to have gotten at Yordan Alvarez, but Topper didn't. Topper continuously sits Bryson Stott and Brandon Marsh against lefties. I'm trying to think. Unless you have, there it goes. And
there he is.
It's been a minute, but it's okay. We're still here. Unless you have Ichiro Suzuki sitting on your bench, I'm not benching Bryson Stott and Brandon Marsh for, all right, Edmundo Sosa, that's fine. Edmundo is very good off the bench, but I'm not doing this for guys like Weston Wilson and Otto Kemp. Like, they're not major league hitters full time. And you're never going to, that's the other problem. You're never going to get somebody in a rhythm if every third day you're sitting them.
Yeah, you are. What are you talking about?
No, you're not.
I know that. I'm kidding.
You're never going to get
Okay,
Bryson Stott going.
you can't say that to. I mean, Michael Conforto. Everybody in Chicago wanted this man gone when the season started because he was like 0 for 11 with 9 strikeouts, and the guy couldn't hit a wall if he was standing 2 feet in front of it. And all of a sudden now the guy's like hitting like almost a 400 over like his last 20 games. Michael Conforto went the entire weekend against the Arizona Diamondbacks without a single at bat. Went Thursday without a single at bat. So he was gone basically 5 games without getting an at bat. Entered the game as a pinch hitter in the bottom of the ninth against the Reds on Monday and hit a walk-off homer. So you can be in a little bit of a rhythm and not play every day. You just have to accept the role that I'm not an everyday starter. I don't know how many at-bats a week I'm going to get. I just need to be prepared every day in case I get that at-bat.
Yeah, no, and I understand that, but the other issue that I have with this is, oh, wait a minute. Hold up, wait a minute. We got a breaking news out of Houston.
Joe Espada's been fired.
No, Carlos Correa needs season-ending surgery on a torn tendon in his left ankle.
Yes, I saw that this morning. They said it was possible season ending this morning when I saw it, but
well, now it is official. Carlos Correa will miss the remainder of the season.
Well, now who's going to win the AL West?
Jordan Alvarez is about to have a 2006 Kobe Bryant like carries my team to the playoff season.
Really, Jordan Alvarez isn't going to see anything to hit.
They're just going to walk him every at bat from here on out.
I mean, realistically, though, if you are, and I'm not like saying like Jordan Alvarez is a bad hitter by any means, but if you're a pitcher right now facing Houston, why would you pitch to him?
Wouldn't. I wouldn't. But no, back to what I was saying about the Phillies with Bryson Stott. The thing is, the other situation with the Phillies, like Bryson Stott would have a game where he would go 3 for 4, and then the next day he would sit him because we're facing a lefty. Mm-hmm. Well, guys, breaking news: a left-handed hitter that struggles against left-handed pitching isn't going to get better against left-handed pitching unless he faces a left-handed pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
So sitting him doesn't do anything. Brandon Marsh, they were doing it early on in the season. He was not playing against lefty. He was batting .402. Like, he was your second best hitter, and he's not playing. Like, you got to get... But yet Justin Crawford can do it. And Justin Crawford's been on a Major League roster for 2 months. Now, I'm not taking away from Crawford, but Marsh and Stott are never going to improve against lefties unless they face them.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, it's like the Phillies are down 1. Oh, here comes Otto Kemp, the pinch hit for Brandon Marsh. You can't tell me, oh, he's right-handed. Yes, he's batting .106. And that's the same thing for Otto Kemp. Otto Kemp last year got at bats every day. When Harper was banged up, when Bohm was banged up, when he played more, he got better at bats. This year, he had like 12 at bats and he was barely hitting. Now, guess what? He's down at AAA. He's hitting .360 with 7 RBIs in a week because he's getting consistent ABs. Not everybody can be like Edmundo Sosa and Michael Conforto and be prepared whenever. Some of these guys need a lot of plate appearances.
Yeah, they do.
And they need him consistently. And Bryson Stott is a guy that Mattingly has given the confidence to and saying, look, you're my second baseman. Go do your thing. And that's what we've gotten so far these past 5 days. He's got 3 homers. He's starting to swing the bat better.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a rough break for the Astros. I mean, Correa, he's off to a solid start in 32 games, 279, 3 homers, 16 RBIs, 787 OPS. He was off to a really strong start. That is a killer.
Can we go out, Michael Sando? Can we go off the beaten path for a second?
Okay.
After watching what Kyle Tucker did the second half of last year with the Cubs, and watching just how god awful he has been this season so far, do you think that he was actually overrated in Houston? And
I
that he
think
was carried by a roster that just had a ton of talent around it.
he wasn't. Well, no, he wasn't carried by a roster. He was carried by the best right field for a left-handed hitter in baseball. If you understand that the Crawford box is in left field, you think that's an advantage? Look at the look at the little league right field wall Houston has.
Yeah, oh, I know. I'm well aware of this. I know.
If you hit a 380-foot line drive that barely gets any air under it, that ball goes out.
Yeah.
And people that said, like, oh, you were the first one you brought, like, oh, Wrigley didn't do him any favors. And I sat here, I'm like, well, LA's not going to do him much better. LA's not a hitter's park either. It's a hitter's park for guys like Shohei, because every ballpark for Shohei is a hitter's park.
Right.
But, yeah, Kyle Tucker is a very good player to add if you are getting a guy that could complete an already stacked lineup. He's not a guy I'm paying what the Dodgers paid for. Now, again, the Dodgers are able to pay him because they're the freaking Dodgers and they're killing the freaking money's part of the sport. But he hasn't lived up to a dime of his contract. And yeah, again, he gets to go to a lineup where he doesn't need to be he doesn't even need to be a guy. Like, they don't even need Kyle Tucker on the team. He's just a good luxury to have.
I mean, he's a good luxury to have because you're the Dodgers anyways. You're just going to be like, I have a gazillion dollars, so I am going to do this because I can.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. They don't need him. Even if they didn't have him, they are still the World Series favorite in the entire sport. They still have Ohtani and Betts and Freeman and Will Smith and all these freaking guys. So, no, I think Kyle Tucker was a very good player in Houston, but I don't think he is a franchise. The Cubs acquired him to be a franchise-changing player. He was not that.
And I think they realized that, which is why they didn't even try to bring him back. Because they didn't even give him an offer.
No, because I feel like
I think they realized that he was not a franchise caliber player. And
yeah,
they basically said we need one, which is why they went to Alex Bregman, because Alex Bregman has shown he can be a franchise caliber player.
Yeah, and ironically, they were both on those Astros teams.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Bregman in Chicago, I mean, he's only hitting 245, but he's got 3 homers, 13 driven in. He's starting to get going. He was off to a slow start, but he'll get it going.
Mm-hmm.
I just personally think that, and again, being a left-handed hitter is absolutely, being a left-handed hitter in Wrigley Field is just a death sentence. Because if you're not Kyle Schwarber, then what are you doing?
Hitting a routine fly ball that dies on the warning track?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just saying.
I don't disagree with you. All right, so before we get out of here, why don't we go around the league and see what we got going for today? Let's kick it off. We got some afternoon baseball around 1:10. We got Rays and Blue Jays to kick off our day of baseball. Shane McClanahan is on the mound against Patrick Corbin.
Talk about one of the worst contracts in Major League Baseball history. Put Patrick Corbin's name next to it.
Yeah, but you know what? He was great the first year, and it won the Nationals the World Series. So I think that's why nobody cares.
God dang, they should have got rid of him a long time ago after that.
Anyway, yeah, now he's been bouncing around the league still. And he's actually pitched to a 3.6 ERA so far with the Blue Jays, who are desperate for starting pitching help.
Right.
Springer Okamoto's batting second today in front of Vlad. Barger's still hurt. Oh man, they're short.
Way to be confident.
Give me the Rays.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rays just because McClanahan's pitching.
They are hot right now.
Oh, speaking of that, I'm glad you brought them up. Can we just not talk about McClanahan for a minute? Do you realize that Nick Martinez, who's 35 years old, became just the fourth pitcher in Major League Baseball history to be 35 years of age or older to start 8 games and allow eight earned runs or fewer in his first 8 starts?
Damn.
The only ones that have done that out of him are Whitey Ford and Justin Verlander twice.
Damn. It's good to see him It's good to see him healthy too.
And yet the Cincinnati Reds, who he was like their number 4 starter on the Cincinnati Reds, felt like they didn't need him in their rotation this year, even after Hunter Green got hurt. And all he's done in Tampa Bay is go 3-1 with a 1.71 ERA so far.
That's the Rays for you. They find guys, and this is what they do. This is what the Rays do all the time.
Yep, they do.
I don't know what. They just find a way.
Doesn't surprise people anymore either.
Nope. And their lineup's been playing well. I mean, Camanero's been off to a solid start. Miranda's coming around. Yandy's been really good this year. They're back in the Trop, which is always fun.
Right. I love the Trop.
See, I'll go Rays today. I think McClanahan's going to have a big one. All right. Battle in the NL Central. Brewers and Cardinals. We got Brandon Sproat on the mound for Milwaukee against Andre Palante for the Cardinals.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Cardinals are still surprising people and playing well.
Jordan Walker playing like they're a top prospect that they've been waiting for. Yeah, I'll go with the Cards. I'm not feeling this matchup for Milwaukee.
And JJ Weatherholt and all those dudes they have right now.
I'll rock with the Redbirds today. All right, next up we've got Dodgers, Astros, Tyler Glasnow going against Lance McCullers. I'm going the freaking Dodgers. I think McCullers is going to have a very long day.
Dodgers.
All right, next up, we're back over in the NL West. We have the Giants and the Padres. We've got Matt Waldron on the mound for the Padres, and the Gigantes are going with Adrian Hauser, and that's with a lovely ERA of his of 7.12. Now, Waldron's ERA is 9.88. So,
I'll go Giants.
I'm gonna go Padres. Giants offense. I'm not high on that offense at all. Next up, we got White Sox Angels. Got Noah Schultz on the mound against Walbert Urena.
So over his first 8 starts of the year for Jose Soriano, he gave up 1 earned run in his first 8 starts. No, his first 6 starts. His first 6 starts, he gave up 1 earned run.
We jinxed him.
And in 2 starts against the White Sox, he's given up 16 runs. White Sox have just hammered him, but nobody else can hit him.
Make it make sense.
But I'm gonna go with the White Sox. The White Sox are 5-1 against the Angels this year, so they have a chance to finish, or 4-1, I should say, 4-1 against the Angels this year. They have a chance to finish 5-1. They've had the best pitching staff in baseball since April 3rd. They have the Samurai Swatter Munetaka Murakami out there.
What did you just call him?
That's his nickname in Chicago, the Samurai Swatter.
I'll go with the White Sox. I like the good story that they are. They're playing some better baseball. Murakami's a stud. And also they have Sir Anthony Dominguez on their team, and I still love him from his Phillies days. All right, then we wrap up our last afternoon game with Mariners, Braves, Brian Wu against Dustin's favorite pitcher this year, Martin Perez.
They brought him back?
Yes, I told you they brought him back.
Sweet. I'm going to go Brian Wu.
Love you, Martin. Not going with you today, though. I'm going with the Braves. They're just playing too good for me not to pick them. All right, now we get into our 6:40 games. First up, we got the Phillies and the A's. It is Jeffrey Springs against Zach Wheeler.
We'll give Wheeler a good, happy return to the mound. I think he goes 6 shutout tonight.
It's his first home start since coming back, too.
Yeah, I think he goes 6 shutout tonight.
You already know me. Wheels up, baby. Let's go.
I mean, it should be
All
wheels
right.
down. It should be wheels down because if it's wheels up, then you crashed.
Ha.
Phillies did that already when they fired Rob Thompson. They crashed. Now they got the wheels down.
We got the battle of the 16 and 20 teams in this one. We got the Marlins and the Orioles. Yuri Perez against Brandon Young.
If baseball could end in a tie, this is one of the games where I would pick a tie.
I'm gonna go with the Fish. Yuri Perez has got good stuff, and I don't trust.
Yeah, I'll go Fish too.
Marlins have some decent middle of the order hitters, between Edwards, Hicks, Otto Lopez. They if Kyle Stowers can get going, they have a decent 4 hitters.
They do.
All right, next up, we have the battle down in Motown. We got Tigers, Red Sox, Sonny Gray against Jack Flaherty.
I'm going the Red Sox because Jack Flaherty doesn't look like he can even get out of a high school team right now.
Yes, and Sonny Gray's back. Had a little IL stint there for a bit, so he's back. I'm going to go. I'll go Red Sox. Oh, dear. Here's another one. If baseball ended in a tie, we would love to pick it. Nationals and Twins. Bailey Ober versus Miles Michaelis.
Twins. Miles Michaelis still serves up batting practice.
Pretty much. Yankees Rangers. Nate Eovaldi against Will Warren.
I'll go Rangers in this one just because of Eovaldi.
Yeah, he's pitched. He's pitched. He's usually a thorn in the Yankees side. I may go with the Rangers in this one. Will Warren's pitched amazing too. It's not about that. It's just Eovaldi's pitched pretty solid against the Yankees in his career. Next up, battle in the AL Central: Guardians Royals. Joey Cantillo against Cole Reagans.
Royals because of Reagans.
He's 1-4 so far with the ERA over 5. So, but I think he's due for a big start. I'll roll the Reagans train here. Next up, Reds Cubs. Brady Singer against Colin Ray.
13 straight home wins, 7 straight wins, 17 of their last 20. Let's make it 18-21.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the boys in Chicago. Colin Ray is just the do-it-all pitcher a team needs.
Can somebody say that he's like the steal of the offseason because he's only getting paid $5 million?
Yeah, and I mean for what you're getting from him is
last year he got paid $5 million and he stepped in for Justin Steele and went like 11-8 last year with a 3.95. And then we brought him back on a new contract and gave him a 2-year, $10 million extension. So he's still only getting paid $5 million a year, and the guy just goes out and gives you 6 innings every time out, and like 2 runs or less.
Oh, and if I have to come back out of the bullpen, I could give you scoreless innings out of there too.
Yep.
Next up, Rockies and Mets. We got Michael Lorenzen against Freddie Peralta.
Oh man, jeez, that's a tough one. Freddie Peralta's just gonna shove it.
Shout out Michael Lorenzen. He must be a friend of the show. His ERA is 6.09.
He knew he was pitching today.
And we wrap up our day of baseball with a 9:40 Eastern time start. We got the Diamondbacks and the Pirates. Paul Skeens, Mike Soroka.
Good pitching matchup, actually, because Soroka's actually been playing pretty well. But
4-1.
You can't go against Paul Skeens too often. So we're going to roll with Pirates.
Yeah, one does not one does not beat the great Paul Skeens. With that being said, anything else I think we hit everything on our docket today, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I think we kind of wrapped up everything that we needed.
Yeah, I believe so.
Talked about a bunch of, we even added some, got a bunch of that Hall of Fame talking earlier too.
Which is something we didn't actually have initially.
Yeah, hey man, that's the beauty of the shows. You don't always have what you somehow get more stuff than what you need. But guess what? It always turns into a great conversation. With that being said, everybody, thank you all so much for joining, hitting home this morning and tuning in. Like I say, if you can't catch the show live, you can always go back on the 609 Facebook and YouTube channels to go check it out later. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. This just a quick program announcement. This is it for 609 for the week. Birds of the Gridiron is off this week. We'll be back next Friday to break down some more Eagles. Hey, don't look at me. I'm not the one that I'm not. Hey, don't look at me. Don't look at me. The NFL offseason's in a dead spot, okay?
You have rookie minicamp right now. You should be paying attention to all these rookies that are coming to camp and how they're performing. And then you have wave 2 of free agency starting probably on Monday morning.
Well, we haven't signed anybody. So when they sign somebody, we'll talk about it next week. But right now, there's nothing to talk about.
Rookie minicamp.
Okay, listen. Either way, we'll be back at it next week on Monday with Unbiased. We'll be back on the normal schedule. You know, if you guys need all your sports talk, you got Unbiased on Monday nights. You have DA After Dark on Tuesday nights. You got your baseball guys here on the Wednesday morning. And then, of course, Birds of the Gridiron is live Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But, guys, we're going to call it a day. Hope everyone enjoyed the week of coverage. Once again, thank you, everybody who picks us for your sports talk. We greatly appreciate it. And we appreciate all you guys for always tuning into the shows, commenting, enjoying them, and always just giving us your feedback as well. We appreciate every single one of you. So, guys, have a great rest of your Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you guys next Monday for Unbiased. So, once again, everybody, enjoy. Happy May. It's now back where hopefully the warmer weather is starting to roll in more consistently around your parts. I'm about tired of wearing sweatpants to work still, and I'm just getting tired of it. I need the shorts. I need shorts weather. I don't mind the hoodie in the morning. Shorts and a hoodie combo is great, but I'm tired of the cold weather. Tired of it. Can't do the winter anymore. But guys, have a great day. We'll see you all on Monday for Unbiased. For Dustin Reese, I'm Sam Nelson. Have a good day, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did you do?